This book is called Red Leaf, Yellow Leaf. It was written by Lois Ehlert, and all of the artwork was also done by Lois. The first 2 pages of the book have leaf cutouts that show through and give the effect that you can see on this page. There's a photograph of Lois being interviewed. There's a series of 8 little snippets, each of them about 2 minutes. You can look for it yourself on YouTube, or you can follow that URL that's typed in here and find the exact interview. She grew up in a very creative family and gives them credit for making her think that everybody can be an artist. I've been saving this little leaf from my sugar maple tree so I could show it to you. I love my tree. First spring leaf. It was born long before I was. The wind blew seeds from the big maple trees in the woods. They twirled and whirled around as they fell to the ground. These are the seedlings, maple seedlings, whirling and twirling and falling to the ground. The seeds the squirrels didn't find lay sleeping among the leaves until they were covered with snow. When the spring warmed the seeds, they sprouted and sent roots down into the soil. Tiny leaves unfolded on their stems. I think my tree would have been happy to stay there forever. But one day, nursery workers came to the woods to collect tree sprouts. They transplanted the sprouts and tended them year after year. Just as the trees were settling in, they were measured, marked, and uprooted again. Here's one of those marks. It says Fall Delivery Garden Center. And here's a label for these birds, black-capped chickadees. Each ball of roots was wrapped and tied with twine. These 2 labels both say that wrapped up in twine underneath this burlap is a sugar maple tree. My tree was loaded onto a truck filled with other trees and delivered to the garden center. We went there in the fall and picked out my tree. Dad had a hole already dug, waiting for it. This tree is the sugar maple. This one is a Norway maple. And this one is a silver maple, because there are many different kinds of maple trees. When we got home, we lowered my tree into the hole. I held the trunk while Dad covered the roots with soil. Now every night before I go to bed, I peek out the window and wave to my tree. When it snows, I hang up treats for the birds. This treat is a suet bag. Some birds love that. This treat is a pine cone spread with peanut butter and some seeds. This treat was probably bought at the store. Each spring, I look for signs that my tree is growing. One of those signs is that it produces maple tree flowers. Another sign is that the young maple tree has healthy leaves. By late summer, the crown of leaves is bushy and green. I love it when the tree flowers turn into winged seeds. They're getting ready to fall, and when they fall, they whirl and twirl, and the story starts all over again with the seeds going into the ground. But if you want to visit my tree, come in the fall. That's my favorite time. Can you guess why? The end. In almost all of her books, Lois Ehlert likes to make sure that you, the reader or listener, can do some art or some science or some both at the end of her book, or learn how to do it. So, she has here information you can go back to learn more about leaves. She's got information about the buds that come out, roots and sap. It's the sap that makes maple syrup in the springtime from maple trees. Information about the bark of maple trees, about their seeds, and about tree flowers. Those are the things that turn into the maple seeds. So if you can find a grown-up or a big sister or a big brother to help you, you can go back and learn a lot about sugar maple trees. And this page gives you the information that's going to encourage you to plant a tree. It could be a Norway maple or a silver maple or a sugar maple. But this page tells you how to look for the right tree, what times to plant your tree, how to prepare the tree site, a little more than just digging a hole, how to plant the tree, how to wrap it, how to stake it, and maybe even write notes for it. This is one of those notes. Red leaf, yellow leaf, beautiful tree. Love from me. Maple syrup comes from maple trees. When the sap is running in the springtime and all the leaves on the tree are still green, that's when, if it's an older tree, 12 inches or more in diameter, you can safely tap the syrup, borrow a little bit of the sap from the tree in order to make syrup. So sap, boiled down, becomes syrup. The state that makes the most maple syrup is Vermont. They make 42% of all the maple syrup in America. But next comes Maine, and then New York, and then Wisconsin. And next comes Pennsylvania, and Ohio, and New Hampshire. And the state with the 8th most maple syrup that it produces is Michigan, like this syrup. And if you've never tried pure maple syrup, you have a big treat in store for you. Can you tell what this picture is? This is a picture of a grown-up who still knows how to have fun with maple seedlings. When they come falling to the ground, you can pick them up, you can carefully split them apart, and they're very sticky. And you can stick them right on your nose and pretend that you're a rhino, a rhinoceros, with a maple seedling growing out of your head. That's one way to have fun when you're a grown-up. I am quite sure Lois Ehlert used to play with maple seedlings the same way. This is her book, Red Leaf, Yellow Leaf. It was written by Lois Ehlert, and all of the artwork, the scientific information, the craft ideas, they were all packed in there and created by Lois Ehlert.